Comparing functions test. Rate of change equals the change in y over the change in x, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The initial value is the value of y when x is 0. Y equals mx plus b, where b is the initial value or y-intercept, and x is the slope or rate of change. For numbers 1 and 2, use the information below. Ty sells custom signs at a craft fair. Signs cost $25 and then $2 extra for each specialty logo used. His friend Cameron is also selling signs at the craft fair. Cameron's sales are recorded in the table below. Number 1. Whose rate of change is greater? A. Ty, B. Cameron, C. It's the same. Number 2. Whose initial value is greater? A. Ty, B. Cameron, C. It's the same. For numbers 3 and 4, use the information below. Julie's family is filling up the pool in her backyard. The equation y equals 5.2x plus 8,400 can be used to find the rate at which the pool is filling up with water. Her neighbor, Alina, is also filling up her pool, and the rate is shown in the table. Number 3, whose pool is filling at a lower rate? A. Julie, B. Alina, C. It's the same. Number 4, whose pool started with more water? A. Julie, B. Alina, C. It's the same. For numbers 5 and 6, use the information below. Reese and Kevin have been working out together to lose weight. Reese's weight loss can be modeled by the equation y equals negative 4x plus 203. Kevin's weight loss can be modeled in the graph below. Number 5, who's losing weight at a faster rate? A. Reese, B. Kevin, C. It's the same. Number 6, whose initial value was less? A. Reese, B. Kevin, or C. It's the same. For numbers 7 and 8, use the information below. At the movies, Jill and Carly each buy a box of 20 pieces of gummy candy. Carly eats 3 gummies every 15 minutes. The number of gummies Jill eats is represented in the graph below. Number 7. Who is eating candy at a faster rate? A. Carly, B. Jill, or C. It's the same. Number 8. Whose initial value was greater? A. Carly, B. Jill, C. It's the same. For numbers 9 and 10, use the information below. Number 9, which has the lower rate of change? A. Graph, B. Table, C. It's the same. Number 10, which has the greater initial value? A. Graph, B. Table, C. It's the same. For numbers 11 and 12, use the information below. Dominic's puppy weighs 8 pounds and is gaining 1.5 pounds per week. Logan's puppy is also gaining weight each week. It can be shown in the equation y equals 1.25x plus 9. Number 11, whose puppy is gaining weight faster? A. Dominic, B. Logan, C. It's the same. Number 12, whose puppy was bigger to start? A. Dominic, B. Logan, C. It's the same. For numbers 13 15 and 14 use the information below. Rachel is tracking how much gas her car uses. Her data is shown in the equation y equals negative 2.5x plus 21. Stephanie is also tracking her car's gas usage and has documented her data in the table below. Number 13, whose car uses more gas? A, Rachel, B, Stephanie, or C, it's the same. Number 14, whose car starts with more gas? A, Rachel, B, Stephanie, C, it's the same. For numbers 15 and 16, use the information below. Number 15, which representation has a greater rate of change? A, graph, B, table, C, it's the same. Number 16, which representation has a greater initial value? A, graph, B, table, C, it's the same. For numbers 17 and 18, use the information below. Michael makes $25 in allowance each week. He can earn an additional $10 per hour for babysitting his younger siblings. Stephen's allowance is tracked in the table below. Number 17, who is making more money per hour? A, Michael, B, Stephen, C is the same. Number 18, who makes more without babysitting? A, Michael, B, Stephen, or C, it's the same. For numbers 19 and 20, use the information below. Number 19, which representation has a greater slope? A, graph, B, equation, C, it's the same. Number 20, which representation has a less y-intercept? A, graph, B, equation, C, it's the same. Stop.